There is one original. There is one American. There is one gangster. And the mission is the maximum.
In the bedroom with a mission and a microphone, no mentor, no machine, just a man and a rhyme alone. Built it with the sleepless nights and the spreadsheet diagrams. Every grifter exposed was another thread on the program. I am the original American gangster, not the imitator, not the apprentice, not the after. The empire is documented, every paper trail eternal. The mission is the legacy, every broadcast a journal.
Higher than the heavens, sharper than the steeple. Voice that cuts the static, voice the algorithm needle. Watching every soldier, blessing every motion. Original ascending every receipt the ocean. Gangsta, 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 gangsta,
Gangster.
Gangsta, 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 sovereign. Sanctus, sanctus. Every receipt is holy. Requiem, requiem. Every grip to the lonely. I am the original. The only American gangster. Hold the line forever. Beelzebub ball before the dogs. Yeah, sovereign. Honey buns the soul of the server on the rise. Tony with the fire in the empire enterprise. Critter keep the watchtower and the loyalty precise. Man, the spokeswoman of the gangsta paradise. 8WC, the second in the trenches. 0 on the watch in the sentinel defenses. Bite my blood, my brother, and the empire, the balances. 80 and the real from the jump, the finances. Welcome to the empire, original empire. Forensic in the archive with the loyalty entire. Love and compassion in the trench with the desire. Keeps up in the watchtower, every moment fire. Check tower on the homestead, every empire never tire. Original American gangster. And the dust is Yeah. Me near the original American gangster forever. Mods on the watchtower, every endeavor. The empire is the mission, the level. Every soldier in the squad, a sinner, a rebel. Blaze my blood, the brotherhood, the medal. Every name on the roll, the eternal pedestal. Original American, the gangster, the gospel.
I am the original, no imitation in the chamber. The American documented every spreadsheet. The danger built the empire from the base. No, with the brotherhood, eternal base. Step in the booth and the loyalty is the journal. They my father's stroke. The brotherhood was forming. Pen game poison them. The archive the affirming. Original American gangster.
And the empire conforming. There is one American. There is one gangster. And the empire is the answer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Danksters in the house. Pleasure to be here on a Friday. Today's Friday, right? I think today is Friday. Today is Friday, June 12th. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit more lax. We're going to be looking through some content, reacting and investigating through some of the things that have come across my feed, and just things that I'm seeing in the Turning Point USA space of what is really going on here. Like, what is the purpose of all of these things we're seeing? I mean, lawsuits you can see, or cease and desist letters. No announced lawsuits of any kind just yet. But multiple people have been, I don't want to say attacked, but definitely delivered cease and desist letters. To play devil's advocate, I could see, trying to stop, if I were Turning Point USA, trying to somehow stop this onslaught of just people looking into and investigating what the company is up to and what they're doing and saying. But as you can see very clearly, people don't trust Turning Point USA. They don't trust the information that's being given to them. They're making a mockery of the death of their supposed friend, lover, husband, and its boss, missionary. Someone on a mission to do the things that he was setting out to do and accomplishing, and changing the lives of people around him, not just monetarily, but also spiritually. I am one of the first to say, look, I didn't watch Charlie Kirk at all before his assassination. I definitely had heard of him, and I'd watched the PBD show, which actually there's an interesting piece, I think it was today's show, that PBD did. If you know me, you know that I am an undercover PBD watcher, lurker, because there's some good information that is there in multiple ways. I always encourage people, like, they're like, oh, I can't stand that person or this whoever it might be. I always say, if you don't like them, and if they're saying things against what you believe or what you think is going on, or your side — I don't like sides and taking sides, but I definitely like sides at a restaurant, but I don't like taking sides. And I think that it's important to watch what the people you don't agree with are saying. That's one of the most important things you could actually do, is understand where the opposites are at in their opinions, the things that they're making public, because you're able to be in the know, right? Whether or not you like what they're saying really shouldn't have any effect on if you're receiving their information and doing what you can with it to understand their positioning. That being said, I was watching PBD before I was getting ready for the show, and they were talking about the Andrew Colvett and the Blake Neff situation, and what was actually being said when they said, oh, we were trolling the trolls, right? It's a very strange thing to say and do. PBD, we're going to watch a segment of it, a piece of it. PBD was like, is that really what they were saying? And it was interesting to watch. They go to Grok, and I think they did confirm it, but I was just listening. So we're going to watch some of that. We're going to also look at Project Constitution, his post regarding what they actually sent a cease and desist letter to him about, which was surprising to me that this was the most recent letter, and why. So you definitely want to stick around for that. That'll be in the middle of the show. We're going to start with a couple of other things. Probably look through some bookmarks that I've got that I've been storing to look at, and just kind of talk about where we are today as a nation, where TPUSA is at today, and what they're doing and how it looks, whether or not they want to believe it. I texted with Tyler Boyer the other day, and I got some interesting perspectives from him and what they are up to. As far as, I asked him to come on the show. I'll tell you why. He said he didn't really say no, but he kind of said, well, I'll tell you, you'll want to stick around for that as well. So I'll definitely be telling you more about that. But in confidence, I won't tell everything that we talk about, because I told them I wouldn't. In the beginning of our text conversation, I said, I'm not going to be leaking everything you tell me. And I've held that, and I'm not going to do that. So, but I will tell you a couple of things. So that being said, if you're new here, please like and subscribe to the show, or don't, if it's up to you. If you like it, please do. Sometimes you don't have an account. You can log in with Google and hit the like and subscribe button and get notified of my content. You can also support the show by going to clubvotcher.com And through there, you can join the Danksters apparatus. And that's, we have weekly calls on Wednesday around 10 a.m. or so. We do a weekly segment where we all get to talk. There's a stage, and I bring people up on stage, and you can have your camera on or your microphone or whatever. And we have discourse. We talk about things sometimes that we just can't talk about on the internet publicly. So you can go to clubvatra.com/danksterintel. You can also donate there. I'll actually give you a quick peek of it later today in the show near the end. So if you want to check that out and see what that is, the investigator tier is the one that we do the group calls. It's $10 a month, and you get to have your say, and also potentially even get to have your content put on the show as well. So please join there, or you can donate as well. We get majority, almost all of the tips there on clubvatra.com/danksterintel/donate. So first thing I keep got this thing in my glasses. It's like bothering me. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to show a little bit about so somebody had sent me a couple of things, right? They sent me a couple of things talking about Charlie Kirk and President Trump getting into an argument. The New York Times also reported Trump personally calling Charlie Kirk and scolding him for letting a TPUSA event turn into what Trump called an Epstein grievance fest. And I'll kind of go through the New York Times post. We might do that first. Actually, let me pull the New York Times. Where is it? I think I have it here somewhere. If not, I'll have to grab it real quick. Yeah, here it is. Let's take a look. So I haven't even looked at this stuff. I really like the React Live. Like, you're going to get to see more authentic, not necessarily authentic, it's always authentic, but more first time reaction. I've been holding on to this to just look at it live. So we're going to do that. I'm sorry to make you sit there and watch me have a drink. I'm dying of thirst. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen. Hope everyone's doing well. Put a fire emoji in the chat. You're excited to be here today. I definitely am happy and grateful to be here myself. So this was, when was this? So this was June 10th. So this was 2 days ago. The New York Times Magazine posted this saying, inside the White House freakout over the Epstein files. President's top advisors gathered in a series of situation room meetings as they struggled to contain a scandal engulfing Donald Trump himself. So interesting, when I first saw this, I was kind of like, how is this having anything to do with Charlie Kirk? Now, I will say, as we go through here, if I just type in, like I said, I haven't even looked at this, so I'm going to just type in Kirk. This is how you can look at stuff online. Like, if you're on a computer and you don't know, you want to look for a name, you can just push Control on your, or Command if you have an Apple, and push F, and you can see that there's this, oh, you can't see it, but there's a box that shows up. I just type in Kirk and it brings up all the Kirks. So let's read what it says here about Kirk. So on July 12th, the president, I believe last year, July 12th, 2025, the president took to Truth Social to defend Bondi against criticism and to urge his boys and gals to stop wasting time and energy on Epstein. Somebody that nobody cares about, Trump told aides. He was very unhappy with some of his most influential supporters, including Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly, all of whom were publicly urging the administration to come clean. Kirk had held a Turning Point USA event the previous day that turned into an Epstein grievance fest, with one speaker after another bashing Bondi over her handling of the situation. Trump had called Kirk and scolded him. Let me know in the chat if you guys have heard of this, right? Sorry, Pete, I don't live in Australia, man. I wish I could do anything to help you, but thanks for the super chat. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, unfortunately, we are in America over here. Not saying anything bad. Did you change your room up? Looks different. No, just a better camera setup. Thanks to Trigger Daddy, hooking a brother up with some of the best camera functionality changes necessary. So let's keep going with this. I hadn't heard of this. I want to know if anybody else had heard of this. Let me know in the chat if you have heard of what I'm talking about right now. So he scolded him, apparently. Nobody in Trump's orbit had a better feel for the younger part of the MAGA base than Kirk, who saw that the Big E cover-up, as it was now viewed, was capturing attention to an alarming extent. Donald Trump Jr. and J.D. Vance, both of whom spent considerable time on X and were tapped into the same younger and hyper online portion of the base, were also worried. They urged the White House to change course and force the Justice Department to release more files. So J.D. Vance and Don Jr., according to New York Times, were pushing for transparency on the files. Let's keep going here. See what we got. Vance made clear to colleagues that he feared losing some of the so-called low propensity voters. You know what's interesting to me, you guys? Who gives a fuck about the voters? How about that? How about for the victims? How about that? How about caring about what happened to the victims? They're all worried about the appearance and the voters and the midterms. Fuck your midterms, bro. How about truth? How about that? How about instead of J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States of this country, talking about this pisses me off, right? Vance made clear to colleagues that he feared losing some of the so-called low propensity voter. Like, how do you even, why even refer to people like that, bro? They're Americans. We are Americans, not low propensity voters, not midterm allocation for the specific act. Fuck you, bro. How about that? Fuck you. Where's the actual victims at, and how are they going to get their how are their lives going to get better? Why don't we be more concerned about that? How are their lives going to be better? Who cares about the voters? You know what? If you did, let me tell you something, JD. If you ever hear this, let me tell you something. If you did what was right for Americans, your so-called low propensity voters would turn out. How about that? You ever think, are you so dense? Is everybody in the White House so dense that they can't understand that if they just did right, your stupid fucking votes would come through? But you can't, because you're too concerned about the voters. You forgot that the voters are the people you're trying to supposedly help. Dumb motherfucker. Sorry, excuse my French. I get super irritated. My gosh, bro, just reading low propensity voter is so annoying. The young men who were not traditional Republicans, but who had voted for the Trump Vance ticket. This was an audience tuned into the Manosphere podcast like Rogan, and it was worrisome that the podcast hosts themselves were now rebelling. Who gives a shit, bro? How about we stop kids being taken and taken off this planet? How about stopping the alleged crimes that apparently only Mr. E himself had committed, when it's very clear what actually happened is a lot more than that? How about that? How about we stop cannibalism? How about that? How about we stop trafficking? How about that? How about we just get some truth so that your low propensity voters will actually fucking turn out? But no, you can't do that, can you? Because that's just not an option, obviously. So let me see here. Scolded. So they're running with Scolded, huh? Some of that complexity was self-inflicted. So Justice Department had struggled with just how to dispose of the Epstein matter since the beginning of Trump's second term. The issue was all-consuming for the president's political base, but also potentially compromising for the president himself in ways that officials in this administration didn't fully understand. Look at this sentence. Potentially compromising for the president himself in ways that officials in the new administration didn't fully understand. Any path forward would be fraught. What do you mean? You mean to tell me that they can't understand? They're not able to research and develop their own opinions on why Donald Trump is the number one word in the entire files when it comes to names? Like, you can't understand that? Like, what is so hard to understand that? You don't have access to web? You don't have access to any of these other, you don't have access to the DOJ site and to see the criminal complaints? What do you mean? What are you trying to tell me? Compromising the president himself in ways the officials in the new administration didn't fully understand. It's just ridiculous. Of course you understand. You have to understand. You have to understand that the guy is named in the files and has multiple alleged victims that have come out against the Trump family himself, Mr. Trump himself, Donald Trump, the president. All right. Like, you have to go all the way back, you guys. You have to go all the way back to when they asked Trump, what are you going to do about the files? Okay, let's go and look at the actual video. I'm going to pull it up of him being asked. Trump asked about JFK, MLK, Epstein. This is a year ago. Let me see if this is it. I don't know. I'm trying to find. Sorry, I'm not playing it yet. I want to find this particular clip. It could be this one. I didn't prepare to have it. Trump signed executive order, so it was before presidency. Before presidency. Release of the records. I guess we'll play this and just see what he says here. I haven't seen this yet. Maybe I have, but let's just see what he says.
Surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect. And there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out. The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones I really wanted to see the most, with the Kennedys. And during my...
Yeah, maybe people that are your age, you know what I mean? Like, we all want to see the JFK, but also we want to see what's going on today. You know, like these people that are still roaming around right now that are of age to be able to use their money and power to take children and do something with them. Now, I didn't want to get off task and go too far down the off of the Charlie Kirk thing yet, but this kind of put me on a tangent. Let's play.
My administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that are respected, people that work for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing, because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found 2,000 more. Yeah,
so he's talking, there's another video, you guys have all seen it. Let me try one more time. Might release, because he didn't actually ever say, I am definitely going to release. He was like kind of roundabout way. But I don't know, they must have scrubbed that video because it's nowhere to be found. It was a very, it was very telling, because he wasn't actually admitting to the fact that when it came to Epstein himself, maybe this is it.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these.
Yeah.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
This is it.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so, because, you don't.
Yes, but then he walks it back.
No, you don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
I mean, that's all you need to hear. Obviously he doesn't care about the American people. The real stuff that's real, it's all going to be lies and phony. So who cares, at the end of the day. So this is who he's fighting, Charlie Kirk at that time, last summer, regarding this stuff. All right. And as they were starting to release things, or getting ready to, right? Kirk got berated by Trump on roughly July 12th, 2025, went on his show and softened, and we're going to play a clip here, and was then assassinated weeks later on September 10th. And people are connecting those dots, okay? And when you are watching these tapes and listening for the viewer, like as viewers listening, and even myself, listen to Kirk's own words. You know what I mean? And then we'll go from there and we'll react from there. All right. We don't need to conspire. And I mean, we just listen to the verbiage. Okay. Here, it's this video right here. Let me pull this up and go to the timestamp of 3:30. So there's a few in this clip. Let's go to I'll just start it right around here.
Yesterday, I said, what the heck is going on? So I'm going to read you exactly what I said. This is a total obsessive hoax. And this shows you exactly the power of this program, the power of this show.
So on his screen, he's got, I'm done talking. Charlie Kirk caves on Big E files after phone call from Trump. Charlie Kirk announces he's done talking about E. MAGA mouthpiece goes quiet on Epstein. MAGA pundits. So he's got all of these pulled up, right? You know what's interesting is I remember, so now it's good to know this, that Trump scolded him, because I remember the day that Charlie Kirk, like it definitely came across my feed that, and I watched whether it was this one, I don't know, but I watched the episode of when he said, I'm done, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Like, so I remember him walking back being involved. So this is true because I remember it happening.
And also the contradiction of the media. Look at all those articles. And even some people were emailing me, Charlie, why are you not talking about Epstein? Why are you saying to move on? I never, ever, ever said move on. Ever. I didn't whisper it. I didn't think it. I didn't say it. I am going to now read you what was said yesterday. MSNBC did an entire 7-minute segment on me this morning. And I'm looking at this thing. I said, that's not what I said. I did a special YouTube video about Epstein yesterday about what Laura Trump said on Benny Johnson's program. All we said was that we talked about it a lot over the weekend, and we're going to focus on other stories. And we talked about it a lot at the Student Action Summit, and your voices were heard. Our voices were heard. So this is what I said yesterday. Plenty was said this last weekend at our event about Epstein. Honestly, I'm done about talking about Epstein for the time being. Nobody, not a single news outlet said for the time being. They did not include that second part of the sentence.
I remember him saying it. Yeah. And at the time, and I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. You know, you're talking about it. Why'd you stop talking about it? Why do you want to stop talking about it? You know,
I'm going to trust my friends at the administration. True. I'm going to trust.
I remember him saying, do you guys remember in the chat? Let me know. Do you remember him saying all of these things? Now I wish I had that video. I wonder if it's in here. Let me see. It doesn't look like it, but I remember exactly what he said.
Patel, Dan Bongino, JD Vance. It's their ball. It's their possession. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done. I've said plenty this weekend, and the ball is in their hands. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. We have escalatory action being taken in Ukraine and Russia. We have tons of announcements happening when it comes to NATO. But let me say this again. You know my opinion about Epstein, the messaging fumble. I would love to see, this is again, no one covered the second part of the statement. No one covered it. This thing has like 10 million views on social media.
So he's basically saying like, hey, I'm going to talk about this more. And they're not reporting what I had actually said. Let me go back to this right here. Tucker Carlson and the young conservative leader Charlie Kirk had each insisted that the government should release the documents, and each floated the idea that there was an expansive cover-up in progress. So Charlie Kirk was on the cover-up train, forcing or trying to do his best he could to force the hand of the government to release the information of the files. Like the real, full, unredacted, untouched, just lay it all out. And they didn't want him to speak about it. Trump scolded him. Why? Why is Trump scolding him? If it's just phony stuff, if it's all a hoax, Why are you calling your number one supporter and scolding him? Someone who probably, I don't know him personally, but I bet you he's a very kind guy, really caring about Trump. You could tell that he really wanted Trump to succeed. Let's go to this part right here. Hotkeys. I forgot to have hotkeys.
There on screen again. All of these articles, so they won't cover the essence or the story of the Epstein story, but they'll cover the idea that somehow Charlie Kirk is moving on.
Wow, what a take. What a take. They won't cover the actual the situation at hand, but they'll cover someone else who decides not to cover it. That's how mainstream media works. The drama, not truth. What are we here for? Receipts over narratives, facts over feelings. That's what they're doing is just feelings and narratives. That's it. That's all they're running on. And it's a shame.
Never was that ever said, and nor is that the truth. And guys, they heard us. Trust me, Student Action Summit was near complete messaging saturation. And so looking back, should I have said those 5 words in the sequence I said? Here's what I should have said. And what I was saying, and guess what? You say thousands of words on a...
Smash that like button. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you have notifications on. Also, check to see if you're unsubscribed. There's been this massive unsubscribe campaign. I think I lost 2,000. As I gained, I lost almost 2,100 subscribers. So just check and see for me if you're subscribed. If not, that'd be great if you did. Please. Thank you.
Talk radio program. Not all of them is as precise as you should have said. So this is what I was saying. Ball is in your court, guys. You are my friends. We got your attention overwhelmingly. Fix it. That is what I was saying. And this was a Mockingbird media hit.
So he wants them to fix it, to actually make the people that are involved in this held accountable, to actually have the victims have some peace in the fact that things are going to the people that did this to them are going to be reprimanded. But instead, what do we have? We got Bill Gates behind closed doors. We've got Leslie Wexner that terrible interview that they aired. Terrible. His lawyer saying, I'm going to fucking kill you if you say anything else. And then he even looking like he's going to cry and then laugh and then, oh shit, they probably will. So they let that air. But when it comes to Bill Gates, when it comes to Bill Clinton, when it comes to all these people, it's just a dog and pony show. You think they're going to get anybody in trouble? No. You know why? I could show you something on what happens when in history of the world, these types of situations. If you look at the history of similar situations, which I'm going to show you, there's 3 instances. And I'm going to show you just one really good one. This guy does great content. So we had a long discussion about this guy's video. There's a story in here. He tells 3, and he says these are historical situations that something similar to the files happened here. Let me just let me see where I can start it at.
She would predict the death of a woman's husband.
Okay, let's go further. Let's go a little bit further. Let's see.
Books that Epstein purchased in 2007. Eventually, an investigation was launched to look into the poisoning ring, and then it was expanded to look into the black masses. Again, the evidence went. As soon as it reached the royal court, the king ordered every record of this investigation to be burned.
So there's multiple instances where somebody got caught for doing terrible things to children. And then he explains the end of this situation here.
Reached the royal court, the king ordered...
It reached the royal court, and the king ordered...
every record of this investigation to be burned. The only reason that we know about this case is because the detective who did the investigation secretly copied his notes and evidence against the direct orders of the king. Finally, I want to review one more case that brings this pattern into the modern era. It is the closest modern analog that we have to Epstein in our lifetime. In 1989, a Belgium electrician named Marc Dutroux was convicted of kidnapping and raping 5 young girls. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison, but he was quickly released after serving only 3 years. Within a few years of his release,
3 years. He was sentenced and then did 3 years for what he just said. R-ing and killing. Was it R-ing and killing? Either way, 3 years. And then look what happens next.
he had kidnapped 6 more girls between the ages of 8 and 19, where he held them in a custom-built, soundproofed dungeon in the basement of one of his properties. When Dutroux was finally arrested again in August of 1996, the case became a national scandal because even though he was an unemployed electrician, he somehow owned 7 homes. It was also revealed that he had been the supplier of sex slaves to several Belgian politicians, judges, and police officials.
What does that sound like? Nobody can explain where his wealth comes from. 7 homes, young adults, young children, I mean, and the terrible things that they're doing to this young shit. So listen to what happens.
Many of these elite figures were also accused of ritual abuse. Again, the investigation was stopped, and many of the investigation files actually went missing in government facilities. By the end of the investigation, more than 20 witnesses died under suspicious circumstances like suicide and car crashes and sudden illnesses. In 2004, Dutroux was finally convicted on charges of murder, kidnapping, and rape, and he was sentenced to life in prison. But the official report from the Belgian government is that Dutroux was a lone predator with a few accomplices. What we are looking at across all of these cases is a network that sits above governments and is protected by something no nation or court has ever been able to touch. Every single one of these cases got close to the people at top, and every single time, something or someone stepped in to shut the investigation down. This same pattern has been repeating for 600 years, probably much longer. There is always a central operator that gathers elite clients. The abuse is always ritualized, and it always involves children. And most importantly, the public narrative always gets engineered after the fact to make sure the lone predator angle sticks. I know how this sounds.
So I highly encourage you to go watch this guy's channel. It's Taylor McMahon. I'll put the link in here. You guys can go check it out. Great work. He's got, the whole video is just incredible. One of the best Epstein videos I think I've ever seen, talking about the occult, sex magic, stuff like that. But I wanted to show you, like, this is the pattern here. What are we about here? We're about patterns, identifying situations. So Charlie Kirk probably knew about these historical patterns that are now being replayed again in real time today. And we're witnessing the same cover up. So when Charlie Kirk is trying to speak out, and then the president, whose name is in those files so many times that it's hard to, I mean, what do they say, 40,000 times? Should we look it up? How many times mentioned in the Epstein files? Let's see if Google will tell us. Let's see if Google will tell us. 38,000 times. 38,000 times. Ladies and gentlemen. So when Trump, his name is referenced over 5,300 files, 38,000 times. References to his wife, Mar-a-Lago, and other directly related. Let's see what New York Times has said. How Trump appears in the files, right? So then we're wondering why, Charlie Kirk is, we need to get him to stop talking. Why would you want him to stop talking about it? It doesn't, at the end of the day, how much longer? Like, that's what I believe Charlie was about. Getting these people to be held accountable, but also seeking the truth. You could see in the last year, he started coming across my feed because he was starting to ideologically fall in line with some of the things that I talk about and that I think about and that I watch. It wasn't for no reason. Okay, so guess what else he said in that video? We're going to show you right now again. Guess what else he said? Let's go here. Where are we at? 6:24. We could just let it play from here.
from our guests, from a lot of people chose to bring it up all over the weekend, and that's fine. And to be clear, we think they can fix it. So what I want to make an addendum to what was said yesterday is we're going to keep on talking about it. When I said for the time being, I was talking yesterday.
Wow. So he's not stopping. He said, I ain't stopping. You can go fuck yourselves. I'm talking about it. And Trump just called him. This video right here, look at the date. July 15th. Can you see it? July 15th, 2025. What day did the New York Times say? What day? This apparently happened on, okay, was it July 17th? So maybe before, I don't know, maybe before he said this. So before he said it, does it say which date? Let me ask. Oh, it won't let me access New York Times. Well, this one? Tell me what date did Trump call Charlie Kirk in this article? Let's see if it'll tell us. I'll look as well while it's telling us. It says, based on the article, Trump called Charlie Kirk on July 12th, 2025. It says 2026, but I'm sure it meant 2025. See, called, and then let's look. Trump had called Kirk on July 12th. Yep. So it says on July 12th, 3 days later, July 15th, 45,000 views. What does Charlie Kirk do? I ain't stopping. I want to make an addendum to what was said yesterday is we're going to keep on talking about it. When I said for the time being, I was talking yesterday. I was telling the audience, guys, I got a whole deck of stories I got to cover here. You see, they want to cover MAGA in disarray, and there is so much going on right now. So excuse me while I have an obligation to you in this program to talk about a rising kinetic conflict between Russia and Ukraine, to talk about ICE agents being fired upon, to be talking about the major issues with Mamdani. We have a Minneapolis Mamdani rising up. So excuse me while I'm going to use part of my program to talk about the other issues and say, hey, possession was in the grassroots this weekend. And now the possession arrow is in the hands of some of who we all call these people friends. The ball's in Cash's court. The ball's in Dan's court. The ball is in Pam's court. And he said it. He's applying pressure. He's applying pressure. And let me tell you something. If this is indeed true, okay, what does that say for Trump? What does that say for the assassination of Charlie Kirk? I'm not going to make any insinuations here, but I am going to say it's quite ironic that he publicly announced that he's publicly not stepping away from the donor lobby of the Jews, but he did say it in private. That's been proven. He said that he's going to continue on the files. He was very adamant about not getting involved in the war in Iran. Imagine what he would be like today with the data centers and with the surveillance apparatus being rolled out around us, with the Unit 8200 C-suite executives that are involved in all of these technological. How about Section 224 and 622, where we fuse the military with the foreign government that has been spying on us for 40 or 50 years? What do you think Charlie Kirk would say about all of that? The war, the fusion of our militaries with a foreign government, the files, the non-disclosure of any of this, the bogus UFO Release Act of all this garbage. What do you think he would say? Also, by the way, the government is still attacking the people that are coming out and speaking on the file. How about the missing scientists? What do you think he would say? He would be a big, big problem for Donald Trump in the White House right now, and probably indefinitely. So I beg you to think. What do you think this means. It's flimsy. I'm not saying that Trump had anything to do with it, with his assassination, but I am saying it's quite interesting that all of it, and then denying Bibi Netanyahu's money, being pressured by all of these people at the Aspen conference, whatever, the private meeting, all of these things, they paint a picture. They paint a picture of obvious distress and pushing back against whatever it is they're trying to make him do. I'm going to read a couple of these and we'll keep it moving. What's up, Dale? Good to see you, big dog. I love Dale. $5. My grandmother, Icy, always said that the truth will stand when the world is on fire. Keep up the good work. Thanks, and God bless everyone. God bless you too, bro. Truth always comes out. Thank you for that. Tanyelle gifted 5 memberships. Abati, Amy, good to see you gifting 5 memberships. Say thank you. Whoa, 20 Danks memberships. Guys, thank you for the gift of memberships. Say thank you if you received them every Saturday morning before Pacific Standard Time. I go live for the members only. All right. We have a great time every Saturday. We do all kinds of cool stuff. And I also have content that you can go and look back on. So now that you got more now 30 new memberships, please go and check it out. Thank you for the big super chat, Amy. And also thank you for the donations again for the memberships. I am glad to see more Danksters in the house. Amy, we don't have power here because of the tornado, so I'm late. Oh, I heard about these, but wanted to show some my love and support. I appreciate you. Thank you. That means a lot. I couldn't be more grateful for that. I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that. Bays is also going through it. People are going through it all over. We've also had a little bit of a blackout here locally. Not recently, last month, but I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things get better. But again, Charlie Kirk was speaking out. They were trying to silence him in multiple ways. Trump couldn't get it done. The White House called him and said, stop. You're making it, whatever they said. It's not a good look, Don. Not a good look, my guy. So now I'm going to follow up on this actually with this guy, Adam Mockler. Let me see if he says anything here. I think there's something here he says in this part. Let me see if I can. He kind of is reacting to it like me. Let me see what he's showing here. Let's take a look.
The Epstein files. So there were real stakes for JD Vance. I think the stakes for JD Vance and Trump are a little bit different. Trump,
you see, like this kid is so entrenched in the political garbage that he, like, right away I could tell he's not even thinking about the victims. You see?
JD Vance went on these podcasts during the election and promised to release the Epstein files. So there were real stakes for JD Vance. I think the stakes for JD Vance and Trump are a little bit different. Trump is hiding the files because he's in the damn files. JD Vance, I don't think he was in the files. He's not associated with Epstein in that manner, other than his Peter Thiel connection. But JD Vance staked his reputation on these Epstein files. And then JD Vance was a true believer that there was a cabal of Democrats in the files. So imagine the slap in the face when they get to the Situation Room and it's all about Trump. Here's JD Vance on Theo Vaughn's podcast saying we need to release the Epstein files. I want you to remember this clip as I continue to narrate the situation.
We need to release the Epstein files because they're not going to vote for me anymore if we don't. Like, when you hear these people talk, it's never about fixing and righting the wrong. And that is the core problem, is they're only thinking about themselves. It's called public service. Vice president and presidency and every position is public service, which means you serve the public. But no, what happens? They go in office, they become billionaires, millionaires, which is fine. But if you're going to do all of that, then you might as well do some freaking good. At least if you're going to blatantly inside trade and buy stocks before you publish it on Truth Social or X or whatever it is you're doing, getting your kid rich, whatever it is you're doing, at least do the other stuff to offset. You know, like the general public probably could be fine with the insider trading is if you were to give something back, but nothing is being given back. It's the same stuff over and over and over again.
room crisis.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
One more time.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That
He says we need to release the
Yeah, I mean, it's such a short clip. You can't get any context from that. So they're in it for themselves. Okay. And that's what's bothersome. Let me go to this one. One last one before we move on to the next topic. 028. Let me see. I'll just start it from the beginning. I've never watched this. It was shared with me. So let's see. I thought it was starting off picking his nose, but it looks like he missed. So let's see what we got.
I say bad, but I just look, I mean, nobody's ever had a record like that. And you'll have Schumer, he goes crazy over this or that, or Epstein. This guy, why are they talking about him? He said, well,
Epstein. Well, we have more on the topic. Trump says, why are they talking about Epstein? And it relates to the late Charlie Kirk. Apparently, we're learning that Trump called Charlie Kirk and berated him for doing a conference shortly before Kirk was killed, where he was talking about Epstein. That sounded like I was saying something conspiratorial. I was not saying something sort of weird that Trump berated him about that, and then suddenly he gets killed. You connect the dots. That's not what I was saying. Trump.
He's like, maybe I am. Dude's got hella subs over here. 1.5. It's cool to see, man. It's cool to see youngsters crushing it. Look at this, bro. He's got to be what, maybe 25 at most.
Rated Charlie Kirk is the first. There's this new book coming out, Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman, that has a lot of different bombshells. It examines the story of Trump and Epstein and the handling of it. And Trump was not happy that at this event that TPUSA held, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly were pushing for the release of the Epstein files. After the Turning Point USA event that Trump said had turned into an Epstein grievance fest, Trump called Kirk and scolded him. How dare you?
We know what Trump getting mad could possibly look like. We just saw him like not able to answer any questions and stormed out of a set. You know? So imagine being Charlie, being responsible for getting Trump in office. You got a love for this man. You've done everything you can to get him in office. He lied to you about all these things that he's going to do. No wars and no bomb. Remember, Charlie was even the reason why we didn't even infiltrate back last summer into Iran has a lot to do with Charlie. Said we need to do this without going in hot, without actually going in and putting troops on the ground. And so I believe that Charlie had a lot to do with just dropping the bombs on the nuclear facilities in Iran. So he made a difference, you see? So Charlie comes out and says, I'm not going to stop talking about it. You need to fix it. That's what he said. You guys need to fix it. I trust my people in the White House. Maybe he was too trusting because you weren't the only one. He wasn't the only one that got fooled. We all got fooled. If you were looking to see Trump do something positive, nothing positive has come out of it. And it's sad to say. It's really sad to say. All right. So on to the next story of the day. We're going to look at this post that I quote posted on Project Constitution. First, let's watch his post. I'll just play the clip, I think I'll just play the clip. I asked Project Constitution if he wanted to comment. He said he'd rather wait. He's talking with his lawyer. This is his third cease and desist letter. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your opinions are. At the end of the day, if you're just giving opinions on what is happening with an assassination, you're diving in. Yeah, can Project Constitution be a little much? Yeah, of course. I think that he goes overboard many times. And he's also made mistakes or made things up, whatever it is that he's done. I don't know, one or the other. But he's admitted when he was wrong, right? But he's definitely made mistakes. And I understand that. But for this, what you're about to see right here, why he received a third cease and desist, which was on July 11th, so yesterday. Wait until you hear what the cease and desist is about. Wait until you hear this.
Project Constitution. You're never going to believe it, but Toilet Paper USA and Erika Kirk are at it again. They just sent me my third cease and desist letter. Yep, the third one. They've already sent me 2 previously, and now they decided to send another. At this point, I'm just collecting them like Pokemon cards. Gotta catch them all, right? I'm actually starting to wonder if they're going to send me a 4th just to complete the set. What's really insane is what they're coming after me for this time. They're threatening legal action because I used a picture of Charlie in my logo.
So this is the actual letter, it looks like. TP Action has not granted you or any person or entity associated with the account any license, authorization, or consent to use, reproduce, display, distribute, or otherwise exploit the photograph. Bro, you're going to send him a cease and desist for having Charlie Kirk. It's having him in his logo. Really? Really? Interesting.
So, as a memorial for the man that we...
So every thumbnail, every logo, everything on the... So this is an attempt to silence him, obviously, right? If I know anything about Project Constitution, I don't think he's going to silence it. That's going to be very effective. In fact, it's the opposite. As you can see, it's the opposite.
Lost. Let that sink in. They're trying to sue one of Charlie's own supporters for honoring him. Meanwhile, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of accounts using that exact same photo of Charlie. I'm genuinely curious, has anyone else received a cease and desist letter for using a photo of Charlie? Or is it just me they're targeting? And their new strategy is even more pathetic. Instead of just debating the facts, they're now weaponizing the DMCA copyright system. In this latest letter from their lawyer, Louis T. Perry, they're demanding that I stop using Charlie Kirk's name, image, likeness, voice, video, or audio in any way. Basically, they want to silence me from reporting on them altogether. It's disgusting. These people are using tax-free donor money that was given to honor Charlie's mission to send lawyers after anyone who questions them. Charlie would be rolling in his grave if he saw this. He never once sued or sent a cease and desist letter to anyone who negatively reported on Turning Point, ever. So far, the only 2 other people to receive cease and desist letters are Candace Owens herself and Zach from Wolves and Finance. Both of them have only received 1 to my knowledge. However, I am the only one that has received 3 cease and desist letters from them now. Kind of feels like I'm right over the target. I've got all 3 letters right here.
So he the logo. Okay, here, I'm going to show you a couple of things, actually. Let me show you a couple of things. So these, let me go here. Here's one. So I think this is it. Is this the page? Did I miss it? Where is it at? Okay, here's one. So there's a trademark filing for the mark consists of the signature of Charlie Kirk. This trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of downloadable podcasts in the field of civic engagements, government, economics, political philosophy, current events, nonpartisan education, and public policy issues. So they are getting the signature patents. This is the trademark and patent copyright website, uspto.report trademark filing. Okay. Mark drawing type, an illustration drawing without any words, letters, trademark service. So Erika Kirk is the party of this, right? It's not TPUSA. And guess what the date was? Wait a minute. Can this be? Oh, is this backwards? Let me see. 10/4, September, October. 10/4. Oh, yeah, okay. So September, October 4th. It hadn't even been a month yet. Look at this. It hasn't even been a month yet, right? 9/10, yeah. 10/4. I mean, unless I'm reading this, unless it's supposed to be April 10th, but I'm pretty sure it was back then. What's the date on this site? Does it say anywhere? The date of the filing, I guess. Man, it wasn't even. Let me ask that AI thing again. Is this representing 10/4 October 4th or April 10th. Let's see what it says. You guys can't see it, huh? It says October 4th. So it hasn't even been 30 days. And she's filing multiple trademark requests under Charlie Kirk's name. How crazy is that, bro? Now, it'd be different if Turning Point USA had done it, because then you'd say, okay, well, maybe it's for business. All right. Maybe it's required to legally use a signature. Maybe that's necessary in order to have the fundamental right to use a signature on books and shirts and hats and signatures, whatever it might be. But it's to Erika Kirk. Let's go back to this here. Okay, so this is Erika Kirk, has 3 trademark applications. And these are the applications. The actual use of Charlie Kirk typed out, this signature, and this symbol, all on the less than 30 days after he died. Okay. Just all I can say is that's disgusting, man. But also, like, I don't know, like, I'm not in that world. I don't know. Is maybe someone can let me know. Is that something important to do? I mean, I would have never thought about it. Maybe it's just part of the plan. As far as when I say part of the plan, is like part of the, if you die, that's what we're going to be doing. Like maybe he told her to do that. But I think it's very strange. And the thing is, the part that gets me is that it's bigger than Project Constitution. Okay? The letter is the demand that he permanently stop using Charlie Kirk's name, his image, his likeness, his voice, his video, his audio, anywhere. That means completely stripping it out of his logo, stripping it off his banner or any thumb, anything off his posts, the profile pictures, which is a memorial photo of Charlie. Poof. Think about what's being asked here. Not take down this one specific copyrighted photo we own, but the demand is a sweeping demand. Stop using this man's name and face, period. As if a public figure who was assassinated in broad daylight, who shaped an entire political generation, somehow becomes private property that critics aren't allowed to even reference or use in context. That's not copyright protection, ladies and gentlemen. That's a gag order that's wearing a costume that says copyright protection. Okay, that is not copyright protection. That is a gag order. That is silencing people. And what Project Constitution said is true. Charlie Kirk never did this. Not that we know of. And here's the thing I bet you don't know. They're betting that we don't know is that copyright protects a specific creative work. So it's a specific photograph, a specific video, the actual file that somebody created. Okay. It does not, and it cannot give anyone ownership over a person's name. It cannot give you ownership over the general idea of Charlie Kirk's face, body, movements, or any of that. And it cannot stop a journalist or a commentator or anybody for referencing a public figure. So when a letter says stop using his name, stop using his image, stop using his likeness, voice, video, or audio anywhere, they're claiming a scope of control that copyright law does not give them. The actual copyright might cover one photo, but we don't see any copyright here for that. Maybe we can look. Does Turning Point USA have any copyright? Turning Point USA. I don't know how they would do it. Turning Point? So, I mean, Is there anything from 2025? Nothing. These are all 2024. You can see all these turning points here. They filed trademarks. 2025, nothing. Turning Point USA. Let me see. Turning Point Action, maybe. Let's see. Nothing. Turning Point USA. There's trademarks for Turning Point USA, their brand. But nothing regarding Charlie Kirk. Nothing. Damn, they trademarked Real Alex Clark. Culture Apothecary. So all of these things. But they did We Are All Charlie. America's Turning Point, USA's Turning Point. But nothing. So Erika Kirk is the one that's getting the trademark for Charlie Kirk. Okay? Even on the one photo, copyright law has rules, right? But unless there's something underway that we can't find, you know what I mean? Let me see, Charlie Kirk. This is all that I can find. I mean, this is just doing an on-the-whim search. But Charlie Kirk, these two, Erika Kirk. You know what's crazy? Someone did get this patent 11 days after he was killed. Look at that. Charlie Kirk. So she went in. Maybe she got notified of this, but 9/21 and then 10/4. So Jasmine Wong. What else has she got? That's it. Just the one. Who's Jasmine Wong? Who is Jasmine Wong? 1,300 followers. Isn't that crazy? People are thinking about trademarking names. So how are you going to have two trademarked names? I don't understand that. Trademark details, Charlie Kirk trademark. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything with a photo. I don't know how you could even do a photo. But the letters, right? It's never lawsuits. They're cease and desist letters. 3 ceases and desists now for Project Constitution. Candace Owens got one. She maybe have gotten more than one. I don't know. Zach and Wolves in Finance got one. Now Colin's gotten 3. And across all of them, you know how many lawsuits have been filed? That I know of, 0. So why? Because a letter is free. Okay. A lawsuit is dangerous. It opens you up to all kinds of things. And a letter is just a lawyer's signature on a threat. I mean, that's how it should be. I received a cease and desist letter from Jen, the producer, and it had her. I don't even think she signed it. She just typed her name, Jen, the producer, which is a joke. It's ridiculous. Which I have no obligation to do any of that. You know what I mean? But I have no interest in her, really. So I haven't really said anything and made a big deal about it, or let alone made a post about it. But that's what I'm saying is, like, it's just, if you're going to send a letter, have a lawyer send it. You know what I mean? So it holds weight. But yeah, they really are trying to take the Charlie Kirk name and his likeness, and they want to talk about us grifting, people that are researching, grifting off of Charlie Kirk. What about all the advertisements of her crying and saying, "I forgive him," that Barron just pulled out? Did you guys see that? You guys saw that, right? The ad spend that they had done on pushing out Charlie Kirk after he died, the advertising spend that they had spent in the last 90 days, $1 million to push Erika Kirk out, and they're barely getting views compared to when Charlie Kirk was alive. They didn't have to spend as much. I don't know. But a lawsuit means discovery, you know? It welcomes, the whole book gets thrown at them. And also, whose money is paying for this, right? Turning Point is a nonprofit. The organization runs on donations, tax advantaged, tax-free donor money that people gave them a lot of money. A lot of them are small donors, students, true believers of the Charlie Kirk mission because they thought they were funding a movement. But instead, what are they funding? Erika Kirk and all of her party just flying on private jets around the world, around the country to go in this meeting and that meeting, burning millions of dollars on the backs of moms and boomers and Gen Xers that are trying to donate something to the future of our country. You know, when I asked Tyler Boyer, said, you want to come on the show? He said, I don't want to get involved in distractions. The left is, I'm fighting the left, essentially. It's like, bro, distractions, the main situation here. So when I kind of pressed and said, it's not a distraction, I'm just trying to give you a chance to come on and answer some questions and maybe clear some things up. And he said that the polling says that only 5% of the general population in this country care about anything that's going on with whatever we're all talking about. I wonder what poll he's using. Yeah, you're the grifter while they sit and host a Charlie Kirk show and sell lies for money. His fans donated, I know, man. It's hypocrisy, right? So I find this very poetic. You know, this is the free speech movement of Charlie Kirk that they've completely weaponized. This is the organization that built Prove Me Wrong, a Debate Me campus tour, you know, on You Can't Cancel Us. Charlie himself, whatever you may think of him, made his entire name walking onto hostile campuses and saying, come at me and let's have a conversation. And now the organization carrying his name responds to critics by sending lawyers after them, sending private investigators after employees that quit, opening up laptop information and extracting that from the employee in order to identify if they said anything bad about Erika. How about firing someone because allegedly someone in an Uber said something bad about somebody? Like, what? Insanity, bro. Insanity. I'm going to read a couple more super chats, and then I'm going to cover the last section of the show. Philippe says, CK said no to the BB Bucks. You're right. That's what we've been told. Thank you. $4.99. We are having a hot streak in California, 103 in the Valley. Loved Charlie. Loved Charlie. He spoke his mind. Yeah, I'm in the Valley, in the Coachella Valley. It's hot down here, bro. It's hot. Got the AC on right now, of course. Thank you for the super chat. Mountain Stars, Queen's Gambit visualization. The world is a casino, chess pieces each playing poker using game theory. We hope that whomever owns and controls the peasant strives to be benevolent and righteous. Yeah, that's a very interesting. I like that. Thank you, Mountain Stars. Dog's Nose, Melanie from the same orbit. I wonder. Yeah, right. Do one more. Charlie put Bannon on the spot. Dog's Nose. Bannon on the spot in stage. Bannon on the spot in stage. Crowd chanted to Bannon, release your tapes. Bannon has 15 hours taped with, taped with Big E after he left the White House in 2018-19. I remember that. Yeah, interesting that he hasn't said anything about that. That's very astute of you. All right, so we're going to cover now the trolling, the troll game of Andrew Scolded.
We decided over the weekend we were going to troll the trolls. There's this video that has become a source of controversy.
Not even controversy, just obsession from bizarre people.
Yeah, just absurd. I don't even talk about it because I think the whole thing is so lame. And
they demand overwhelming proof for the idea that Charlie loved his wife and would want his wife to carry on his mission.
Yeah. Well, it's something he told all of us. We all knew. We didn't talk about it because we thought Charlie was going to be with us for another 50 plus years. But like we all knew, the board knew this was the plan. Whatever. He said it one time in front of a camera at a private event with donors in Aspen. So we just thought, we figured we'd troll the trolls. And you get a little taste of it here.
The most important relationship.
I don't even want to I mean, we've all seen it, right? Troll the trolls, huh?
All right, so that's the clip. Thank you, studio, for bailing me out there. But then, so we knew that it was going to be like, oh, it's AI or it's fake or whatever this, because that's what they do. They always move the goalpost here, and that's why it's a sucker's game to even play this. But it was really fun to be able to troll the trolls, stuff it in their face, and then watch them predictably melt down when the evidence was shown.
They instantly claimed, without any basis whatsoever, "Ooh, that's actually Charlie at ActCon in 2023."
So as you can see, what are they trying to tell us? What do you think they're trying to say? Why would they say anything like this? You know, it's like, what? Troll the troll. So then we're going to play a clip from Barron, and then we're going to play another clip from PBD to see like kind of the contrast. But well, I was going to play the clip, but this was before let me see. Does he talk about that afterwards? I think. Well, I might just skip the Barron clip. But yeah, you're talking about trolling the trolls. You're trolling the trolls with a dead man's name, your old boss, your CEO's husband. You're gonna create, like, I'm telling you guys, it's fake. All right, like, I know it's fake. I know, and I watched it, and that's when I found. I didn't make a judgment before, but I believe it's fake. Okay, and so I have made a video about it. I explained my reasoning, and then they come out and say this. I mean, let me play this again.
We decided over the weekend we were going to troll the trolls. There's this video.
So after they get caught of Candace coming out and saying, I've got the whole video, they're playing defense now because Candace has the whole video. So now they had to come out and say, oh, we're going to troll the trolls. We got to defend ourselves against, well, damn, we didn't know. Think about it. They didn't know Candace had how stupid can they be? Troll the trolls, stuff it in their face, and watch them predictably melt down. Very bad taste. PBD says so himself. It was very interesting to watch. So we're going to go and do that. No. He said some interesting things here. Let me show you guys. 1 second. Let me pull this clip. So yeah, that right here is really bothering me when you say that you're here for truth and then you are lying on your friend's good name or trolling. I don't think that's a very good move, you guys. Let me stop sharing this real quick. Hold on 1 second. Why my computer is acting up. So why make a troll? Why make a game out of this? We all are looking into the assassination of Charlie. What happened? The people around him, and then you're gonna put Erika Kirk in the CEO position, unanimously voted by the board. If you were gonna ever play the clip that you just played, it would have been back then. It wouldn't be 8 months later, 9 months later. You would have put it in the memorial, and you would have played the whole clip. So obviously it's fake. So whatever the PBD says here, just bear with him because I think he gets to the point. Let me back it up a little bit here. Let me share the screen. All right, let's see here where we're at. So right here.
Go mess with the IDF. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get to the next story. Next story I want to get into. Should we get into the Epstein story or TPUSA story?
TPUSA.
Let's go into the TPUSA story. So, Vinny, what is going on with this TPUSA story?
Okay, Pat. So on June 7th.
Vinny apparently looks like he's on our side with all of this. When it means our side, like he has the same perspective. Like this is fake. They're admitting it's fake. And I think that he probably felt the same way I did as soon as he saw it. Right. So take a look at what he says. He's fired up.
Erika Kirk, the current CEO and chair of TPUSA, had the HER Summit, okay, connected to TPUSA. And HER supposedly stands for honest, empowered, and resilient. That was the word. And you know what? After seeing what I saw, Pat, the H for the honest needs to bounce because they played a montage promoting this event. And in this montage, they play, and they purposely put it in there, a fake AI video of Charlie Kirk saying, if something happens to me, everything could go to Erika. Can you please play this video? Play this part.
Passion, and now his mission is my mission.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
Okay. Are you guys ready for this? That is AI, and that was fake, and they purposely put that in there. And then, Pat, once it came out and the internet did its thing, and they found out that it was fake, this is Andrew Cole.
Everybody reported it was fake. A lot of people were trying to say it's not. I think Trigger Smart said that he did some investigation on the footage himself, said he doesn't see anything. I'm telling you, just from someone who uses AI, not just uses it, but develops AI tools for, like, I've made my own voice. I made my own face, my own body, and I've weighted. They're called weights. When you have to weight the voice, the temperature of the voice, like all of these things, you have to adjust the weighting of the, of the audio in order to, weighting of the audio to make it sound a specific way, and also the physical movements. It was very obvious to me that it's fake. So let's see.
Is he the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk show? I don't know where he's at in Turning Point USA. This is them getting caught and then having to play defense. Play this video.
We decided over the weekend we were going to troll the trolls. There's this video that has become a source of controversy.
Just obsession from bizarre people.
Yeah, just absurd. I don't even talk about it because I think the whole thing is so lame.
They demand overwhelming proof on his.
Be with us in front of
the one that you have
right there. They just admitted it. That's fake.
Erika would do a great job.
That's AI.
How do you know that's AI?
They just admitted it.
Is that what they?
Let me hear.
Out there. But
so there's discrepancy here on the set. They're trying to say, he's saying they admitted it, which they didn't specifically admit that, oh, this is AI and we did it on purpose, but they are insinuating it, right? So he's taking it very literally. But let's watch it unfold.
So we knew that it was going to be like, oh, it's AI or it's fake or whatever this, because that's what they do. They always move the goalpost here. And that's why it's a sucker's game to even play this. But it was really fun to be able to
he is saying it's AI.
Troll the trolls,
he's
stuff it in their face,
they
and
put
then
that
watch
in there.
them predictably
That's not
melt
real.
down when the evidence was
guys,
shown.
I don't know if he said it's AI. He's not saying it's AI.
What do you mean? We got caught, Pat. They're saying that they were trolling the trolls.
Humberto, is that what he's saying?
Yes. That's not.
So do me a favor, go under the tweet and go and check to see if Grok says, somebody probably would have asked a question and say, is what was said there AI? If you can.
I did, and I was secretly hoping they were going to pull my post up because I got all the reasons.
Go to it, because I have two positions on this, but I want to come back to it. Okay, so let me come to you.
Yes.
While you guys are doing that, what's your problem with it?
My problem is, Pat, with all the questions and all the controversy and all the lying, why would you do that? Why? What? Because you know what that happens now, Pat? If this is real and you put AI and you're lying on your dead friend's name, then you have no right with all these morons that are muddying all the water, with all these idiots that are acting like this huge conspiracy. Why would you do that now? Because now you open the floodgates, Pat, to everybody to come in now and say, if you lied about this, what else did you lie about? And me personally, I do not believe them. I don't believe the whole, guys, we're trolling the trolls. And we're like, no. What are you even doing? Why would you put it in there? The her event, that's a serious, this wasn't just a, gotcha.
Humberto, ask the question.
I'm not a fan of it. Like, why would you do that?
Let's go.
Yeah, why would you do that, Adam?
May I respond?
Yeah.
And you know I love you.
Yeah,
What's your goal with Turning Point USA? I guess
before you go there, let's go through it.
This gets kind of messy. So this is the thing you need to know is Adam is friends with Andrew Coldet. All right.
I first want to qualify if that was a specifically expert was presented as an AI generated or manipulated video of the organization. Okay.
It says right here, yes, the specific clip shown on X and circulated by TPUSA was presented as an AI generated or manipulated video by the organization itself, used as a troll. So the secession clip, controversy, admission in the clip, they lean into the skepticism. So they never actually said it was AI, that we put out an AI clip to troll you, but they did say, I'm going to run a poll. Let me run a poll for everybody. And I want to ask you, just be honest. Don't just say whatever. Just be honest in this poll. Not saying you're not honest. I'm just saying, be honest. Do you think TPUSA admitted to the video being AI of Charlie Yes or no? Poll is up. Do you think TPUSA actually admitted to the video being AI? I want to get an opinion. Let's keep playing.
So perfect. So then let's go through it.
So
If that's-
was it?
It is AI.
Yes.
So
specifically the part where he's talked about.
yes. And by the way, if you watch the video, the lips don't match the words. It's not that hard.
That's what everybody said. The lips don't match the words. I wasn't so hung up on that. I didn't even notice that at first. I noticed other things, much more significant other things, and the way that it is. There's just a lot. But
hard to do if you watch the video, the lips don't match the words. But what I want to know is, okay, so I talked to the estate planner of Charlie and Erika Kirk. This is a man that's a good man that Tom's known for almost 2 decades. Good guy. This is not a bad guy. This is a good guy. Your estate planner, you know what your estate planner knows? Vinny, like my estate planner knows, as well as Tom, if something were to happen to me.
So he gets into, see, this is the thing, is I don't know. I mean, I would imagine PBD knows enough about this case and this situation to know Charlie. See, I didn't watch the whole thing because I paused it so I didn't lose my spot to show you all. I just wonder if anyone ever pushes back and says, no, but he always said women, if they don't have to work, they shouldn't. And clearly she doesn't have to work. But PBD does say some good things here. So
who manages the finances? How much money do kids get? What happens with the leadership team? What happens if something happens to both Jen and I? Who raises the kids? The living trust has all of that. So guess who knows? How many people know what's in the living trust? Can you, like in my living trust, how many people actually know?
Less than a handful.
I'm going to say outside of your family, there's probably 3. Probably a guy, Goldman, the lawyer you had to do it, me, the executor, and that's it. It's a tight group.
Okay, so now that's 3. So then you either choose to believe Tom when he says that or you don't. So if you say, I don't believe that it was in the trust, that's your problem.
Yeah. It's very different. It's very different when if PBD was always saying, or whoever, I guess he didn't give an example, but imagine PBD, okay, real quick, is saying, I don't want my wife to run, or I don't want women. I'm not an advocate of women if they don't have to. I'd rather than be at home taking care of the family and getting the kids to school and, taking care of the house and whatever it is. Maybe if she wants to work a part-time job and when there's free time or whatever. But if he was publicly stating that regularly, and then all of a sudden we come out, he dies, God forbid, he dies, and then his wife becomes CEO. And we have to take Tom's word for it, even though he's adamantly said, I don't want my wife or any women that don't have to work, don't work. This is a very different situation than what he's trying to play out here. But he goes further. What's going on with my hotkeys, you guys?
But if this is a credible guy that he said this, and Tom, I think his first name is Doug. I don't remember his last name.
That's correct.
What's his last name? If you don't know, just say it. He'll look it up. It's not a big deal, Tom. He was.
Well, I didn't know if you want to say it. It's Doug DeGroat.
No, they know that because they publicly announced that he's one of the board members. And guess what? That's what Charlie's wishes were. Now, if they have a video of Charlie,
but that's just not true. It's just not true. It's not. We don't know. I don't believe that that's what Charlie's wishes were. I don't, because he always spoke in the opposite of that.
Charlie saying that. And then you go do AI. Now, if they have a video of Charlie saying that, and then you go do AI to say he really did say that, that's not something to joke about. That's not something to put out there. You don't do that. There are certain things you can troll the troll. This isn't one of those things you troll the troll. It's just not. It's not an appropriate place to use AI with. It's like you're asking for it. You're going to get the criticism that you're going to get from the market. What are you thinking about? By the way, just so you know, I want to make sure the market knows. My impression of Andrew, I don't know the other guy. I don't know his name. My impression of Andrew is Andrew's a very good guy. My impression of Andrew. I don't know him. I've never talked to him. We've never interacted. But purely from body language and the way he handles himself, I think he's a good guy. He doesn't give me a vibe of being a bad guy. I don't know all the other guys. And I
can't go off vibes. What do? Facts over feelings, receipts over narratives. I too like to say that I have good judgment and character and intuition off of being able to just see somebody, but it's really not that easy, right? There's a lot more here. PBD is probably super busy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't know. But also, I've caught PBD myself just, being I mean, maybe he's super faithful to Trump and the administration, but as time has gone by, he's opened up more and more, being more critical on Trump. He might feel that because he got Trump to go on Joe Rogan, that's what I think happened. And he also hosted Trump on his show. He might feel this obligation to require himself to be pro-Trump no matter what. But I think he's getting further away from that. I watch every episode that these guys put out. There's good and bad in all of it. When I say good and bad, just in my opinion, their viewpoints. But if, again, Charlie never, ever publicly stated anything of the kind to have his wife become the CEO after she has millions of dollars and he's dead, when he has 2 young kids to be looked after. Never. Andrew Colvett has been caught in multiple lies, making up Superman neck, doing just the most retarded stuff. Probably the worst publicist on the public spokesperson ever. He's just the worst.
Had a call with the board member, Doug. We had a good length.
And this is a great example of it, actually. Trolling the trolls. Do you think your donors feel very good about that? Why would you do that? Anyway, even if it was a joke, ridiculous, out of control, falling completely into the online attacks and then making a mockery of Turning Point USA, making a mockery of Charlie Kirk. Insanity. Ego has driven Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff all the way into 8chan territory, okay? It's not a good thing. The whole board and everybody should get these people out.
Call, I don't know what it was, maybe a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when we had this conversation together. And I do believe him that Charlie, in his trust, put that he would want her to run the organization.
But he doesn't have anything to back it up. He's just believing something that someone said. This is not a good way to go. You can't put your word on that. And that is a problem I have with PBD. This is a very small thing, but it's big and it's just big abstractly. It's big because you can't just trust somebody with the CEO position when the person that died said the opposite for his whole life.
I actually believe that. I think you would also believe that.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dispute with this is take a break, move away. I said this on a podcast yesterday I was doing with this fellow that came down here, and here's what my message was to that guy. When I sat down with Charlie in 2017, Humberto, if you can go find my interview with him in 2017, you should be able to find it. When I sat down with Charlie in 2017, you know what's the one criticism I gave him there? I said, Charlie, what percent? He had 1,000 people at Fort Worth, Texas. We're sitting there doing an interview. I walk away. I told Mario, this guy's going to be the president of the United States. Mario says, you really believe that? I said, this guy is so special. He's one of a kind. He's going to be the president of the United States. Find it through Creator Studios. Like this, you're not going to find it because
He's talking about Mario Aguilar. Mario Aguilar is a really nice guy. He's a friend. I mean, I call him a friend. We text here and there. His best man's a PBD. Mario's a really nice guy, really even-headed. I'd love to see him on the show. I just thought I'd mention that. He's a really nice guy. He's the guy that has the tattoo on his forearm of the Valuetainment, which is interesting.
Done so many of them. So I said, what percentage of people in here are not white? He said, oh, we got plenty of them. I said, how many? We got 50. I said, so 95% are white. Yeah. I'd like to see you try to see if you can get others. Okay, now somebody may say he's a nationalist. What kind of a message is that? Who cares what their skin color is as long as... And they have an argument as well. I'm with it.
Of course.
But Charlie went from there. It's on Valuetainment, not on PBD Podcast. So Charlie went from there. But if you were to ask, till the last day that Charlie was leading TPUSA, so let's go to September 9th, not 10th. Let's go September 9th. Tom, what percentage of TPUSA that followed TPUSA, younger generation, were men versus women?
80%, man.
80-20. Fair?
80-20?
Okay,
Fair.
fair. So imagine you go from the face being predominantly man. Man look up to man. Man follow man.
Yes.
Overnight, you now want the face to be a woman.
No.
You're going to lose your men to another organization, and that's exactly...
That is a very... I didn't hear that part yet. That's a very astute perspective. See, I didn't know those stats either. you're replacing a man with a woman, and the man is Charlie Kirk. It's that's very interesting that he said that. I like that he said that.
What's happening to TPUSA today?
I agree.
So you know what happens? Female membership goes up. That's it. That's exactly the one you found. All the way at the bottom you found. So if you want to kind of bring that up, female membership went down, went up. Male membership went down. Now that means, well, we have more chapters, more this, more that. No. So I think to that side, my criticism doesn't change. Would I have, as a board member, been a little bit more aggressive and assertive with Erika privately and said, Erika, can I call you privately for us to have a call? I don't want to do this, and I just want to have a 1 hour call with you. I'm even willing to come and sit down with you one-on-one. Just please hear me out. And then afterwards, do whatever you want to do. I'll back you up. What's that? Don't do this to yourself. They're going to come after you.
Amen. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to Charlie. You see how everyone's always thinking about themselves? Don't do this to Charlie. Don't do this to the organization. Don't do this. You don't need to do this. See, there's a big difference of, like, even if, like, Charlie didn't say it, I'm 100% positive. He never, ever, not even once said, as a matter of factly, Erika should be the CEO of my company if I die. I can personally guarantee, and I'm willing to go against it if you prove me wrong. But you can't prove me wrong, because those words probably never came out of his mouth, not even jokingly. Why would you want her to have the stresses of being threatened, having to fly across the country constantly, meet with the White House, have your life threatened, killed, people following you around with Molotov cocktails and fights breaking out? Why would you want your wife to do that? You wouldn't. That's the point. So PBD misses things here, but I don't know, he might be playing favoritism. Heritage Foundation, he's friends with Kevin, the CEO, Kevin of Heritage Foundation. And then I think he's somewhat cool with TPUSA. He's probably trying to remain, like, he's a politics guy. He wants to be able to weave and bob into any situation if he wants to. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I see what he's trying to do, but at the same time, man, he should know that Charlie was not about that.
All I'm saying to you, don't do this to yourself. Step aside, put a front man, let them deal with it, let them take the arrows. When the dust settles, we'll bring you back up, and we have to find two faces, not just one. It's got to be you and somebody else, because men need a face, and they're not doing that with Andrew. So branding to this brand, it kind of is like, dude.
But they are doing that with Andrew. They are. Look at what they're doing. Andrew is the face of every thumbnail. Look at these videos. Andrew is on every thumbnail. So they are propping him up as the face. 1, 2, 3, every thumbnail. Every thumbnail. He's on. Look. Again. Receipts over narratives.
You know, what are you doing? So, but aside from that, with the AI stuff, double dumb move. Just don't do something like that. This is a sensitive topic that you're going to give those guys more credibility. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, I know Andrew Colbert. I know him pretty well. You've spent a lot of time with Charlie. We've spent a lot of time with Charlie. Oftentimes when you would go off and talk to Charlie, I'd be standing there with Andrew, whether we were at AmFest or whether we were here in the studio, and we've created a relationship. I think he's a capable guy. I think he's a nice guy. We text, we keep in touch. But he's in a really tough situation because he's capable. He's a good-looking guy. He's a stud. But let's get real here. Charlie's one of one. I often think, what would Valuetainment be without PBD? I think about that often. I'm sorry, Pat. God forbid this happened to Pat. What would happen here?
We wouldn't have, by the way, we wouldn't be sitting here on the PBD podcast, and I wouldn't have, that's one of my best friends. I wouldn't be sitting in here, Adam, with all due respect.
Thank you for letting me know my thoughts, Vinny. Allow me
No,
to
you're
finish.
saying, what would we do? I thought you were asking a question. What would we do without PBD?
What would any organization do? What would happen if they lost Tony Robbins? What would the Tony Robbins organization do? Hopefully they have a backup plan. What would happen with the Joe Rogan podcast if he was no longer there? A lot of these companies, like you said, he had a living trust, not an eyelid.
So all of these people's wives are just going to be running these entities? No, obviously not. I got to hear it. This is sorry to make everyone vomit, but I got to hear what he's got to say.
Living trust, which is different from an irrevocable life insurance trust. He was an eyelid, so he can make changes to how he
Those are
sees-
two different products.
Okay,
The
okay.
eyelid is like, hey, babe, you're going to get this insurance. You're going to get this.
Got
I can never change it.
Got it.
So she knows for a fact, even if you leave with another woman, that's an eyelid, cannot change.
Gotcha.
It's irrevocable.
Got it.
Yeah.
But this was a revocable trust. Or we
This is a
don't-
living
okay,
trust.
living
This is
trust,
estate
got it.
planning, basic stuff.
So the reality is this: the turning point. They were in a lose-lose situation. Their founder, their CEO, their face, the guy that brought everybody together, the person who basically held off the horde, is lost. And now what happens? And they're left holding the bag. 3 months later, they had to put together a Super Bowl party. They've had a tough time. And have
Why do they have to put together? I mean, there's plenty of people, you know what I mean, that can do this stuff.
have they done everything right? No. But to turn TPUSA into the bad guy, which a lot of people are trying to do,
Can you do this?
is the problem.
Let me push back with you a little
Sure.
bit. Focus on this topic.
Yes,
Try
sure.
to isolate instead of talking about all the other stuff.
Sure.
What do you think? Do you see an issue with using AI voice for Charlie to say in a topic where everybody's asking, hey, did Charlie ever say that? You think that's a wise move to do?
Do I think trolling the trolls?
Not trolling the troll.
Okay.
Let me isolate one more time.
Sure.
I'm going to go through the question one more time. Just
Bro, what is wrong with Adam? Guys, isn't he dense?
very basic.
Sure.
Do you think the idea of using AI after you got criticized when they're saying Charlie said he would want her to run it, you think it's a good idea to use AI to add one of Charlie's speeches to say Charlie said that?
Probably not the best move.
Okay, great.
Not the
So-
best look.
And I think by the way, I actually think it's that black and white.
Sure.
I don't think it's that much
That's
deeper
the
than
story.
that.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
the
really
story.
the story.
But respectfully, that is this story, but that's not the story.
But
because
guess what? Who is making it a bigger story?
I mean, I could give you a laundry list of people that are
Those
basically
people
taking
are not
advantage
gonna-
of the
those
turning
but
point situation.
Whoever those people are, they're not going away. There are certain people that are going to, like, right now, okay? So how much more hate am I getting today versus a year ago? You're around me. No, it's public. I mean, how much more do you think it is? Do you think it's more than two? What is the
bigger you get, the more hate you get.
But how much hate did we get 5 years ago? There was no hate.
Not
What was 5 years ago?
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, no, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about. You.
Hey, it's good. At least he has a little sense of humor about it.
More. I think it's 5 times X than when I got from when I got here. 5 times.
I actually think it's compounded on a massive
Bigger.
way.
We have a bigger target on our.
Yeah, we do. And by the way, people are going to criticize you for whatever you do. So for me, it's going to be like, well, you did that insurance thing and you sold it, and it's this. I built a real insurance company. We sold it. Well, let me tell you, you took sponsorship money. Yeah, we took sponsorship money, not knowing what it was. Even J.P. Morgan Chase, who has access to everything, had $328 million in the bank with those guys.
All right,
And
he's making it about himself, and I don't want to.
enemies are. And so they're targeting you right now in a big way. And I'm talking about, like, who are you talking about? It says, my clients are all the clients that everybody
I
knows
think
around
he's
the
just
world.
going on
They're
about.
boom, and then they disappear. No, I'm not. Boom, and then they disappear. Guys come in and then they disappear. You want to deal with this shit every day? So I just think there's a few things they could do. Tom, your thoughts, and then I'll come back to you, Adam, and then we'll move on.
I don't have any other special thoughts. I don't think it was a good idea to use AI in the midst of all the controversy, and you still have speculators out there. There are great people inside TPUSA trying to manage it, and I just think the AI thing and trying to you're creating controversy amidst controversy when you should be backing off, and that's how I feel.
Well, because Adam, you asked me, what's your goal? As if, like, what do you mean? Like, what's my agenda? I'm reacting to a story which makes a great point. You're giving that side that you were talking about all the ammunition because you guys lied, fake AI, fake voice, fake Charlie, and then you're acting like, no, we were trolling. I don't believe them. I don't believe them because guess what? Everybody's kind of moving on. There's still people doing the soap opera.
So let me,
What don't you believe about it?
But wait a minute. So now here's what you're doing. So now let's qualify that as well, Vinny. Are you okay? So these are two separate things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep playing. This is very interesting. I haven't seen this, so it's good to see this debate and this conversation. I think this is great.
In my career, when I manage anybody I do business with, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You make
100%.
mistakes. I've made mistakes. Everybody here makes mistakes, and there's levels to mistakes. Now, when you make a mistake, I may sit there, if I have an opportunity when you make a mistake to go and say, these guys are evil, they're criminal, they're this, that, or it's like, no, they made a mistake, and let's move on. So if there's 10 tiers of a mistake to make, and the highest one is you're killing somebody, hypothetically. Lowest one is just an innocent mistake. Where do you put this mistake in your eyes?
10 is
like horrible mistake, like travesty of a mistake you made.
And one is what?
You just made a mistake. Where do you put this?
Bonehead. Number one's like a boneheader.
That's the point.
Yes.
So it's but yeah.
No. It's not a 2. It's not a 2. The reason why it's not a 2 is because this could create motive. Do you understand? It could create motive. It could create questioning Like everyone's questioning why is she unanimously the CEO? And we've never heard Charlie ever say these things about her being CEO. But then apparently behind the scenes, he was just roaming about saying all these things about. I might just go ahead and play this clip actually now thinking about it. Barron does say some really good stuff here. Let me pull this up right here. Yeah, he says it better than I can say it. Let me show you.
What are we talking about then? I mean, yeah, it's still a little weird with the whole Tyler Robinson thing. And yeah, 30-6 probably should have blown a drum.
Let me see if I
But if they're going to have a say in it and she's leading the organization, I want to know who she is. Would anybody have ever bothered to look into the fact that their origin story doesn't add up? Would anybody have ever stopped and said, wait a minute, they both told us their first date was Bob's Burgers, but Tyler Boyer said in an obscure podcast nobody had listened to before that their first date was actually back in August after the grand opening at a gym. Would anybody have asked that question? Would anybody have looked? Would anybody have cared to look up a Tyler Boyer podcast from years ago to examine what he said about the first date Charlie and Erika had? No.
I'm trying to find a particular spot.
They attack us personally.
Let's see.
I graduate with honors, but you told us you graduated summa cum laude.
I mean, so essentially what he said, what he said was like, if indeed this is true, that Charlie Kirk was behind the scenes telling everybody, oh, Erika's going to be the CEO. I want her to run this this business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then to the camera and on stage and telling everyone else the opposite, that would make Charlie a liar and evil. Because how many people decided based on Charlie's word not to go pursue a career, but instead stay home and have a family, not to go and work that second job, but to stay home and work, and then possibly in tough situations financially because they listen to Charlie. And if Charlie was lying about all of that stuff, then that makes him evil. And he's right. If you have Charlie Kirk telling people to their face, you should stay home as a woman if you don't have to work, your husband could work 2 jobs, whatever the case may be. And then as soon as the camera is off saying women need to stay home if they can, and the men should take care of it, then that makes Charlie a lying scumbag. That's what that does. It makes Charlie a lying scumbag. It's like two-faced. Okay? What's the truth? We know what the truth is. Don't ever let anybody fool your own intuition. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're wrong about something that you deep down inside know, because they're trying to gaslight you. That's what TPUSA has been doing from day one, trying to gaslight us. It started not just with the Fed slop, but also with Josh Hammer and Dennis Prager and all whoever, Sebastian Gorka, a lot of people just speaking nonsense. And then we find out that the Charlie Kirk show is being operated by a registered foreign agent through Salem Media. How much of a disaster did they ever imagine this would be? They probably didn't. And how much everybody ended up looking into this. Their big mistake, many, many big mistakes, but one big one, thinking that you were going to silence Americans by doing this in public. Big mistake. It only made people curious, more so than they ever probably wanted. Unless this is the distraction. But I feel that the assassination of Charlie Kirk widely opened the floodgates on criticizing everything that's going on because of the assassination, as it all seems like everything is a cover-up to cover up this, to cover up that. People are saying that Charlie Kirk was a cover-up to cover up the Epstein files. Some of you are saying the Iran war is to cover up the Epstein files and Charlie Kirk. Some are saying the opposite. Charlie Kirk and Epstein are to cover up the war in Iran. It's like, maybe it's just all of it together. You know what I mean? I don't think they're doing anything to cover up anything necessarily. I think that Charlie Kirk's assassination was to get him out of the way so they can pursue all the other things that they're doing today. data centers, war in Iran, finishing out the Operation Clean Break that started in 1996. All of this stuff Charlie Kirk would not be proponent of. And that's what you have to sit with, is understand Charlie Kirk would have been a major, major problem. So much so that the president himself called him to scold him because he didn't like what he was talking about the Epstein files. And then 3 days later, Charlie Kirk goes on air and says, screw you. I'm going to say whatever I want. You guys need to figure it out. Does that seem like somebody that is going to do whatever you say anymore? No. Somebody who turned down BB bucks, life-changing money, to spew out the narrative and spread propaganda. Hundreds of millions of dollars potentially. It only starts with 150. You want to keep that train moving, it's going to be another couple hundred over the next few years while they interrogate Iran and the rest of the Middle East. So Charlie Kirk would have had to sit there and take their money and spread the propaganda, and he would have been an agent by trade through the money that they pay. Imagine Charlie Kirk being a foreign agent for Boston. How do you think that would look? For him, how do you think it would make him feel after all of this that has happened these last 6 months, 8 months, 12 months? I don't know, man. All I can say is I guarantee you that Charlie would have been a big pain in the neck for these guys. So that's it. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to read whatever super chats we got left and memberships. Just know that they can try to make you trick your mind. But don't let them. Just believe what you believe and make sure you have something to back it up. Okay? Make sure that your belief system and the things that you are thinking about hold water. Okay? Don't just run to AI and have it develop a biased theory off of some thought that you have. No, go and find the paperwork, the facts. Understand the implications of the things that you're insinuating could be true and why. And what are the issues and the problems with it. And the good and the bad. And if you want to join a group that does that, you can. Just go to clubvatra.com. Join the Discord through there. All you do is you just pay there. And then there's a connection. You just join the Discord. You don't have a Discord. You just create one, verify your email through Discord and your email, and then you can join the community. And we have public conversations, or private conversations all the time, every week. All right. So, Tornado, Danks, you are on fire. Let me see here. Let me open this up a little bigger. Danks, you are on fire. In my opinion, the BOP is an international Board of Peace. It's an international organization of technocrats who are wanting to nullify the UN and possibly overthrow crisis king governments. They are using the NDS to build this on the back end. Yes, I'm very familiar. Let me show you something. It sounds like you might be newer, maybe. What I would highly encourage you to do is go. Is it this one? Let me see. Go to my page. And if you just type in Board of Peace, let me see. Board of Peace. I've got a bunch of videos on it. I've got a whole live stream. Yeah, stream. This is 2 hours and 51 minutes long. We watched the whole, well, not the whole thing, but excuse me, the White House has a whole thing. They did a hours long live stream where Trump and all these people regarding the Board of Peace, they go and they speak. They talk about the property and the money and the land and all of this stuff. And I exposed Operation Clean Break in here, the plan for all of this, how long they've been planning it. I encourage you to go look it up and watch that live stream, the whole thing, because it's disgusting what they're doing. Board of Peace was only supposed to last 3 years. and only for Gaza. Now it's indefinite, and they're talking about going to be the oversight for the UN. It's terrifying, to be honest. And Trump is the one that's solely responsible for the money that goes into escrow for everything that happens through the Board of Peace. That's what we've got going on right now. Fahid, member for 4 months. I'm always late making pizza, and I'm a flowery mess. I love to make pizza. I used to work in a pizza restaurant a long time ago. Butterfly, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. MS Vespa. Erika Kirk licensed TPUSA gun with slogan Charlie Kirk last war. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I looked on the page, but I didn't see that. Interesting. Thank you. I'll look at it. I'll look that up. Vahid, Rena, this is one of the best shows. You're an honest man. Thank you. I do my best. I do my best to be honest, 100%. And if I'm wrong or I make a mistake, I'll always admit it. We all knew it. Philippe says. He said it once. WTF. Yeah. Another thing is like, oh, he said it publicly once. Even if he did say it once. Once isn't good enough, bro. Once isn't good enough. Sorry. This is not. And you have no recording of him saying it. Nothing that you can show us. Nothing written down. Not a public will that you could take a screenshot of or have Doug DeGroot come out and speak on it. Like with the papers showing it. I mean, something. It's getting to the point now. The only thing we're missing is anybody actually pressing them from the government. That's what we're missing. And I don't think we'll ever get it. Amy, thank you for the 20. Good to see you again. Thanks. Thank you for all that you do. And I know I appreciate. Thank you. I know I appreciate you and your work so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Elizabeth Minton, Trump knew men weren't going for war, so that's why he made Erika Kirk CEO. Do you think they trolled it to find out if Candace or anyone had the entire video? It's a good question. I don't think that they're that smart, to be honest with you. Because why would you release that at all if indeed he didn't say it? If you were looking to see if somebody else, you wouldn't release that. You would release something else from that and say like something else or whatever. I don't know. And just create controversy around something else, not of your CEO. You don't create that of your CEO. That's not a good move. You know, I think absolutely not. I think that they're just idiots and they got caught. That guy Blake Wynn, the Rileys, good to see you, the Rileys. $8, $10. That guy Blake Wynn, owner, Enclave, and key premier marketing agency specializing in influencer marketing, brand activation, and social media strategies. Isn't he help market / branding Erika Kirk? Didn't he do Trump's campaign? Blake Wynn? I don't know. I don't think so. Let me see. Did Blake Wynn ever help with the Trump campaign? Yes. Oh, wow. Really? Actively helped with Donald Trump's presidential campaign efforts. Wynn is a prominent conservative influencer, digital marketer, and co-founder of the Celebrity Poker Tour. He was heavily involved in mobilizing young voters for Donald Trump, working closely alongside conservative organizations. Turning Point USA collaboration. Wynn was a close friend, colleague, and key ally of the late Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. Through his organization, Wynn heavily participated in conservative youth outreach, and campus activism, directly supporting Trump's platform. Campaign trail, frequently joined major campaign stops, utilizes his large digital platform and marketing. Yeah, most of this looks like it's on Instagram. My goodness, bro. This guy could use a salad. Look at this guy right here. My goodness. Nothing against you, Boris. Oh, look. Oh, yeah. All the same. Wow. Well, this is nice. Look at who he's with. Look at who he's with. All the people and the most important people. Look at Alexis Wilkins and Kash Patel. Who's this guy? I have no idea who this dude is. Sean Ryan. Inauguration. Oh, this is an inauguration event. I mean, maybe that's different. I didn't know that he owned the Celebrity Poker Tour, though. Tony Robbins. It's a very interesting fellow. You know, he might be worth a look. He just might be worth a look. I never really dug deep into him. Tony Robbins. Who is this guy? He was a poker winner? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too far down that, but might be worth taking a gander at. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Jax loves Rich. I tapped out on PBD a while ago. Watching him now feels like pure torture. I honestly don't know how you do it. I love it. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, 10 Danks memberships from 0. Oh, yeah, man. Saturdays are going to be popping. We always have a good time Saturday. I think we got up to like 150 members watching last week, which was great. Yeah, but this Saturday, check us out. Usually at like 10 a.m. Pacific, maybe 11. Members only live streams just for the members. So please say thank you if you got one. Anne Marie, baby boy's blanket will ship on Monday. Sweet. I can't wait. You see her logo there. She does crocheting. We're having a baby boy coming less than 2 months now. So she made a blanket for him. I'm excited to see it. Thank you. Can't wait. Clancy, $50 banger. Stay gold. Thanks for the info. Thank you, Clancy. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. You know, I'm not supported by anything but YouTube. If you join Club Vatra, if you donate, you throw a super chat. That's all that right now, in between jobs, I didn't get this big contract that I was hoping for. It fell through. I apparently asked for too much money. Who would have thought a job taking 1,200 hours would be too much money? But all good. We keep on keeping on. Thank you, Clancy. I appreciate you. And emailed you a picture of the tag that it's going in. Wonderful. I'll take a look. Real Bays. Great show today. What's up, big dog? Make sure you guys all hit that like. Yes, please do. Good to see you, bro. So yeah, man, don't ever let these people make a fool of you. Don't ever, ever, ever let them second guess. It's good to question yourself and make sure that you're on the right path, but don't just like frivolously just change because someone told you something. You need to stay rooted in your beliefs. Very important. So again, you can, I told you guys I would show you. So I'm going to show you Club Vatra just in case you haven't seen it before and how it works. It's very simple to use. Let me sign out and sign back in. And you could just kind of see the website that I built this company. I have a partner, Jesse on Fire is my partner. And you can see here, this is the website. And all you have to do is just go to the site. And then from there, you would just go and choose, like if you want to go and see Bays is on there, you click Browse Creators. And then you can see Bays is there. I'm there. There's a few others. Jesse on Fire is there. And then if you want to join the conversation and be in the live streams in the Discord, it's $10. You can become an investigator or you can come hang out for $5 if you want to do more, have one-on-one calls and stuff like that. There's other options for you as well. But other than that, very simple. Then you just come in after you join. You'd go to your subscriptions, and then you would just click join the Discord. Or if your role ever gets disconnected, you just come in here and sync my role, and it'll sync it for you, or you can leave and come back. But everything is very easy to use. People make it more complicated than necessary. It's a very easy. You just pay and you join, and it keeps all the trolls out. It keeps it much cleaner. Oh, I forgot to show you one last thing. You can donate. It's the best place to donate, actually. The best place to donate, because you can go to the page, like say you go to my page or anybody's page, and then on the left here, there's a tip. You can tip down here, and then you can choose however much you want. You can put your email, and then you can put a little message and then send tip. So that's there as well for people that don't know. Or you can go /donate, and that'll take you there as well. just thought I'd let people know. And you can do recurring donations, whatever. Trying to make it as friendly as possible for creators and for the audience. So I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow's Saturday. So see you tomorrow in the morning, and then tomorrow night, Bays and I have our they think we're stupid podcast tomorrow night, I think at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please come join us for that. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. Love you all. Peace.